Deanna, hurry it up and get out of bed. I would really like to eat some sweets right about now. Huh? Do you have any idea what time it is right now, Autumn? It's 3 a.m, but I want to eat something sweet. Right now, the baby in my belly is asking to eat some strawberry shortcake, so I, as her mother, I have to get her the shortcake that she's asking for. I'm sorry, but there's no cake store in town open at this early in the morning, okay? I'm fine with one from the grocery store, so get one of those for me. And make sure that the cake is a strawberry shortcake, please. Not a chocolate cake or a cheesecake, but a strawberry shortcake, all right? I'm sorry, Autumn. I'll go out and pick you up a cake in the morning, but right now I'm trying to sleep. Huh? I had to be out late for work all night, and I'll have to be back to work all day tomorrow as well. So I really need to catch some sleep right now. I'm sorry. I am not playing around right now. Your sister-in-law is telling you that she wants to eat some cake right now. I don't give a crap about how hard work is going for you recently. So shut your mouth and go to the nearest store and get me that cake. Then I'm going to ask Brent to go do that for you. He's told me that tomorrow is his day off, so... If he has the day off tomorrow, then he needs to get his sleep right now, so leave him be. There is no reason for you to be waking up my little brother right now. I have asked you to go and get me that cake, so do so right now. There's no way I'm doing that right now. I am way too sleepy and just want a few more hours of sleep. Make sure to hurry it up so that my baby isn't kept waiting too long. And if you're not back soon, I might already be asleep again and my baby will starve. And with that cake, can you also get me some orange juice? I'm sorry, Autumn, have you seen my purse and wallet anywhere recently? This morning when I was at the market, I went to go and pay for the food and my wallet and everything wasn't in my bag. Now that I think about it, last night you were looking through my bag, right? Sorry. I totally forgot to give you back your purse and wallet. It's in my room right now, so come and grab it later. Huh? Why are both my purse and wallet in your room right now? I was just wanting to use your credit card a little yesterday. Recently, I have been so stressed out. But after doing some major shopping online, all that stress has gone bye-bye. But I'm done buying all the things I wanted, so you can have your things back now. What? You used my credit card to go shopping online for yourself? I did that because the doctor has been telling me to do my best to not get stressed while pregnant with the baby. So thanks to your money, I was able to do just that. Could you please tell me how much you spent last night? I wasn't really paying attention to how much I was spending, all right? But I got a lot of really expensive makeup, some nice designer clothing, and of course some things for the baby as well. And I made sure to buy some really expensive foods. You spent quite a bit then, huh? Maybe a couple grand? But this month you should be getting a bonus, so you don't have to worry. I should be worried about all of that. Please pay me back for all the things you bought on my credit card later. Huh? Why do I have to pay you back for all the things that were paid for on your credit card? I would have just used all my own credit cards had I known you would want me to pay you back. What? So you actually think I'm going to pay for all that? Well, of course I do. I mean, you are my sister-in-law after all, right? You have to be willing to pay for things your older sister wants. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Do I have to pay for all your things just because you are my older sister-in-law? You sure do have to pay for me. What are you trying to get at now, Deanna? I understand that during pregnancy, it's not good to be stressed out. But if you think buying things online is a good way to remedy your stress, then maybe you should be using your own cards. Autumn, you have that credit card from your husband, right? He told you that you can use it on whatever you need while being back home with your mom and dad, right? What I have in my possession right now is my husband's family's card. In other words, that means my husband would have to pay for whatever I'm spending. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to throw away all that money my husband has been working so hard for. That's meant for my baby. What? But when it comes to using my sister-in-law's money, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm above you in this family, therefore your money is mine. I can use your credit card on whatever I'd like. What kind of reasoning is that? Between you and I, neither one of us is above one or the other in this family. You and I are equals since we are both sisters-in-law. You think I'm below you because I'm your little brother's wife and that you're above me because you're older? And that allows you the right to use my card without my permission? That's not a good enough reason for that. You're really getting on my nerves with all that talking. I wasn't using your money to mess with you in any way, all right? I needed to get rid of the stress I had last night in order to not harm the baby. That's why I used your card, so I have every right to use your card. I came home in order to be treated nicely by all of you while I'm pregnant. What? Since I've come all the way back home to my parents' home to have my baby, that means all of you have to be there to support me. And in your case, you are not even related to my family by blood, and also you're the youngest wife. But you are living in my parents' house as well, so that means you have to be the one to support my needs the most here. And this time, to support me, you had to help me get rid of that stress. So you're telling me no matter how much you plan to use my credit card without asking, and no matter how much you ask for my support, and no matter how many times you ask me to go out in the middle of the night to get you food, I can't complain about it? Because I'm not related to this family by blood and because I'm the youngest wife? That's right. But I'm sure someone without the experience of carrying a baby would never be able to understand me. Being stressed out during a pregnancy is some of the worst feelings you'll ever have. Now, I've gotten a little bit sleepy, so I'm going to take a small nap. Good luck at work today, okay, Deanna? I have had it with her, Brent. Go and talk to her right now, Brent.
Huh? What's happened this time, Deanna?
I have been telling you about her this whole time, right? About how your sister has been treating me in such a terrible way and her attitude towards me just grinds my gears. She doesn't give two craps about how I feel about any of this and keeps going on and on and on with all of that. Today she even told me that she used my credit card last night and spent a couple grand on it without my permission. That is way too much money.
Wait, are you serious?
And when I complained about it, she started to go on about how she did it in order to reduce her stress. And then she explained that since I'm the youngest wife in the family, she can do whatever she wants with me. I am not going to sit around any longer and let her keep doing things like that to me.
Well, listen. Calm down for me, will you? Look, I understand why you're so upset with her right now, but she's having a tough time right now, having to deal with being pregnant. So it's not her fault that she's become a little bit selfish under all that stress.
You call that a little bit selfish? She never tells me thank you for any of this even. And now she's gone and almost maxed out one of my credit cards. I had brought all of this up with your mother before, Brent.
What? What's my mum about it?
I had assumed that since she raised you, she'd be just as level-headed as you are. And since we are both in the same position, being women from other families, she'd understand me more. But when I began to explain to her what was going on, she started to act just like you are now. Telling me that it's not her fault for being a little selfish. Do you guys not see how much your sister is pissing me off right now? I'm being told by not one, but two people in this family that it's not her fault and that I just need to deal with it.
But, well, I could see that coming. As of right now, your only option is just to put up with Autumn.
So both you and your mom think I should just suck it up and let her continue to abuse me? You're telling me that from now on, no matter how ridiculous all the things she does to me are, I'm not to make a sound or raise my hands about it? Well, I'm sorry, Brent, but I've had enough of this. If nobody is going to be on my side during all of this, then I have an idea.
I'm asking you to please calm down for me. I see that you have had a lot of stress dealing with my sister. It's pushed you pretty far, but you're taking things way overboard now.
Huh?
Who cares that she used your credit card a little bit? That helped to get rid of some of the stress that she had, so who cares, right? That means that couple grand of yours she spent was to help the baby stay safe. I think $2,000 is totally worth it to ensure that the baby comes out happy and healthy.
What did you say?
And when it comes to being pushed to your limits, like you are now, that's the perfect time to grow into an even better person, right? I'd read about something like that in this self-improvement book I bought just a while back. So, I think you just have to keep with it, and you'll come out of this a better Deanna.
Are you being serious with me right now? Your wife is having the worst time of her life right now, and you've only got that to say to me?
Well, my break time's almost up now, so I'm going to have to get back to work. I'm sure that someday, when you're pregnant, you'll be able to understand how she's feeling. So until that time, just be quiet, try your best.
Hey, Deanna. I heard about you tattling on me to my brother and my mom. You had been telling them about how I'm such a selfish woman who doesn't care about your feelings? I never said that. But I did make it very clear to them that I was tired of being taken advantage of by you all the time. I understand that you are stressed right now from being pregnant, but you are not going to use that as your reason for treating me like I'm some kind of slave to this family. Wow, why are you being such a witch now? Are you not going to help out your sister-in-law even though she is going through so much pain having to carry this baby? And you got my mom and brother involved in all this now? Well, beware that even though I went and talked to them about this, neither one of them seemed to care. So that was a total waste of time for me. No matter how much I tried expressing my concerns to them, they both told me to shut up and deal with it. So it seems nobody is really that worried about me. And that was totally right of them. I mean, this is my family's house, right? Not your family's house. No matter how much stress you're having, my family will always care for me first. I just got a message from Brent a little bit ago saying for me to not worry about what you're saying and to do as I please with you. Is that right? And even my mom has been saying the same things to me. Which means from now on, with the power of my family backing me up, I'm going to use you as the slave you are to all of us. I'm the daughter of this family, and all you are is my little brother's stupid wife. So you are going to shut the hell up, and you are going to be the slave I've always wanted you to be. And if you ever try going against me and tattling like that again, I'm going to have my brother divorce you. We're already divorced, though. What? So that would mean I can go ahead and ignore you now. I no longer have to be your slave, and I'm free to do as I please now. And as for the money you stole from me, I'm getting it back from Brent. I really don't care how much you think I'm being a total witch right now, because I am no longer a part of your family and have nothing to do with you. Wait a second, please. What do you mean you're already divorced from Brent? When the hell did you and him get a divorce? I just got divorced from him only a second ago. I asked my work if I could take the rest of the day off. Then I made a sprint over to the courthouse and handed in the divorce paperwork I had. Huh? Just a few seconds ago? I have recently been carrying those divorce forms with me every day to work. And of course, I made sure that your brother was aware of that as well. So please don't think that I did this all without him knowing, because he was the one to fill out and sign his parts. But why have you been holding on to divorce paperwork that both you and Brent signed, huh? Does this mean that for a while now you both have been at arms with each other? I never knew about any of it, but you both have been talking about divorce for a while then? Before you came back to your parents' house, he and I had a very healthy and loving relationship. There was never a time that he and I brought up getting a divorce. But for the longest time, I have held on to a copy of our divorce papers signed and ready to be handed in. When he and I moved into his parents' house, he and I signed them. Huh? When you moved in with my parents? Your father had passed away and your mother was left to live alone, right? Well, your brother said that as her son, he wanted to live with her long term. He even begged me to stay in this house longer with your mother and got on his hands and knees to do so. But in the end, it was too much anxiety for me to want to live with your mom long term. It was all right when your father was around, but her by herself? Ugh. But to convince me that I would be completely fine living here long term, he signed a divorce form and told me to do the same, saying that he would make sure my life in this house with your mother and him would never make me want to get a divorce. He told me that the signed paperwork was meant to show me that I could trust him and to act as a sort of incentive for him to keep being a good husband. What? So after seeing him hand me the paperwork, I had no choice but to say yes, and he showed me he really wanted my trust to live in this house longer. But seeing him now, I think he's totally forgotten about the divorce papers he signed. Because recently, I have really wanted to divorce him. He told me back when he handed me these papers that he'd never make me want one, but here we are. So, you've handed in those papers already, right? So you've really gone ahead and ended the relationship you and him had? Yes, because I don't need a man in my life who forgets how to take care of his wife. And so because of that, I no longer need to listen to you. I will no longer listen to your selfish crap any longer, so keep it coming and waste that time. I'm no longer listening, and your excuse of being pregnant isn't going to gain you any leverage anymore. You really think you can talk back to me like that now, do ya? I'm a bit surprised that you've already divorced Brent, but it has nothing to do with me. If anything, having you get the hell out of the house now will put my stress level at 0. If you've really gone and divorced him, then get going and leave my parents' house. What's that? I'm not going to be leaving this house. After all, your parents' house is now mine. What? What the hell did you just say? There's no way this house is all yours now. It belongs to my mom now. Well, if you didn't already know this, recently my name was put on this house. Both the house and the land it's on are both under my name now. So in other words, this place is mine. Huh? What do you mean your name is on it now? My mom got both the house and the land from my father when he passed away. So why the hell do you think you have your name on all of it? Well, your mom happened to change the name on both the house and land to me. What? My mom did that? It wasn't just your brother that changed after you came back home to have the baby. Your mom used to be very kind to me and saw me as her real daughter. But the moment you came back home, she changed for the worse like Brent. And now she's just like you, asking that I shut up and do all that you ask me for. But before you came back, your mother had put my name on this house. She told me that things like the taxes and payments on the house were too much for her to deal with and asked that I handle them. And in order to kind of force me into it, she changed the name on the place to mine. What? Are you for real? So that means with this divorce, all of you need to get out of my house. So you all get together and start gathering your things before I have you all out of this place. Because starting today, that house is now mine. The rest of you no longer have the right to live there.
Hey. Diana, you're lying about handing in those divorce papers, right? I just got a random call from my sister who seemed to be very freaked out by you saying something like that to her. There has to be some kind of misunderstanding here, or at very least a joke.
When it comes to the divorce paperwork, I really did hand them in. It was the same papers that I've held on to this whole time. So, starting today, you and I are no longer a couple.
What? Wait a minute. Why'd you hand in those papers like that all of a sudden?
You thought this was out of nowhere? I told you earlier that I'd been approaching my limit with everything, right? But as I kept coming to you for help every time, you grew closer and closer to your mom and sister. You seemed to not care anymore about the way I felt, and I could see that wasn't going to change. So that's why I got this divorce.
What the hell? You handed in our divorce papers just because you're mad with my sister. And you're going to say the divorce was justified because I didn't care about your feelings. We're not freaking kids anymore, so you can't say things like that as your reasoning. Are you a freaking idiot or something? Why would you use that reason for ending the love that we both had with one another?
The only idiot here is you, Brent. I was begging for your help, and yet you ignored all my pleas. So don't blame me for wanting a divorce after seeing you leave my side. You need to be blaming yourself for doing things that led me to want a divorce.
But that was because my sister's pregnant right now. I want to think about the baby she has and all the pain she has to go through.
Well, if you happen to care about her and the baby more than your own wife, I'm glad we got this divorce. Now you can focus all your attention on her and the baby and never have to worry about how I'm doing. I think we should both be happy about the divorce.
What?
Now, by the end of today, I'd like you to have all of your things together and be ready to leave the house. I'm going to stay the night somewhere else tonight so that I don't have to come home to you all crying and whining. When I'm back home tomorrow, not one of you better be in the house still, all right?
Wait a sec, please, Diana. I actually didn't know your name was put on the house either by my mum. Can you please at least give my mum back the house and the land? I'll accept the divorce, but please don't take the house. It's not yours to have.
No way, Brent. I don't have to give you anything back.
Huh?
I'm not as nice of a person as you think. If you were a better husband to me, then maybe I would be giving you the house and land back, but you weren't. So I'm going to meet you at your level, and I'm going to keep the place.
Are you kidding me? Then this means we'll really have to leave the house. My sister's supposed to be having a baby next month. My mum's turning 60 years old this year.
I am not going to care about what happens to those that never bothered to care about what happened to me. Now that's all I have to say. Since this is my first divorce, I think I'm going to have something nice to eat for dinner as a celebration. Deanna, please, help me, please. Do something about this situation right now. What was that? Why are you still talking to me? I'm just about to get back to my house here. I'm sure you've all gathered your things up and are out of the house right now. And now I'll finally have a place to myself again and can stretch my arms and legs out. Right now we've all gone back to my house. We realized that I was no longer going to be able to stay there after what you said and came back here. And of course I made sure to bring both Brent and my mom here as well. Okay, so you're all back at your house now. But this house isn't big enough to allow my brother and mom to live here as well. I asked them to please go somewhere for the night and stay, but they won't leave me, and they keep blaming me for this all happening to them. So now they're forcing themselves to stay the night here, even though there's no other bedrooms. But it's true that a lot of this is your fault, right? So just let those two stay with you for a little while. Are you even listening to me? My house does not have the room for them. This place only has 2 rooms and a kitchen dining area, and very soon here I'm going to be having my baby. But by having everyone in the house with you, you'll have all the support you need during the last month of your pregnancy. That should make both you and your husband really happy now, right? My husband's not happy about any of this. He's freaking pissed. It's all because of you guys that I'm at the risk of getting a divorce by him. Really? He was shocked to see me burst through the door with both my mother and brother and all their things, and in a panic I explained everything that happened to him. And then he replied by saying it was insane of me to think that I could threaten you with divorcing you from my brother. And now he doesn't even want to talk to me anymore. The last thing he told me was that he can't see himself raising a kid with me. I think he's only being fair and honest with you. I think any sane person would react the same way he did. This cannot be happening to me. Right now, my husband is getting ready to go back to his parents, and he told me once the baby is born, he's taking it with him. He doesn't even want me to have any part in raising it. Well, kids usually take after their parents, and I'm sure it's not healthy for one to take after you. You happen to think it's all right to steal people's money, force them into being your slave, and threatening them with divorce. I think someone like you would be a terrible influence to any baby. But I'm the one that'll be giving birth to it, though. Yet he's going to take it away from me the moment it's born? And what makes all of this worse is neither my mom or brother will be able to meet it. He said the next time we talk will be when he comes to get the baby. Well, then you'd better hurry up and kick your mom and Brent out of the place. But no matter how many times I ask them to leave, they just won't go. They keep saying that they have nowhere left to go and that I'm the one to blame for getting them kicked out of your place. So please, for the love of God, help me, Deanna. I have no reason to be helping any of you.
Deanna, please let me come back into your life and let's become husband and wife again. My mum even said that she wants us back together, so please. I promise to never make you want to divorce me ever again, so please, give me another chance.
There's no way I'm letting you back into my life.
Please don't say that to me. I can't live without you in my life.
You'll be all right. You'll be fine. You told me that you just have to stick with it during hard times and that after you'll become a better person, right? You read that book on personal growth already, so I'm sure you can handle things.
What?
Well, that's all from me. I'll make sure to take great care of your parents' old house, so don't worry. Now have a great time with the rest of your family. Due to all the stress that Autumn was feeling, she ended up having her baby 1 month before her due date, in other words, having a premature birth. And just as had been told to her, her husband came to pick up the baby after a few days in the ICU being cared for and brought it home to his parents' house. And ever since that day, Autumn has not been able to see her baby. When it comes to both Brent and his mother, they've both still not yet left Autumn's place. Autumn has tried plenty of times to beg them to both leave her alone, but their only response is asking for her to pay for their new housing. And then they finished their reply by saying it's all her fault that things ended up the way they did and that she needed to take responsibility for it. From her husband, he later told her that things didn't look like they'd be getting better around her and asked for the both of them to get a divorce. So, I guess we'll see if this is the end for Autumn and her husband, or if she'll be able to get the money to move her mom and brother out of her place.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
What the hell are you thinking, Madison? Why did you just come out of that place with Raymond? What is going on with you, Sherry? Coming at me with all these phone calls without at least giving me a text first? Stop trying to act like what you've done is not a problem and get to explaining things. I heard from Raymond that for the next month he'd be out of the state for a business trip. But for some reason I saw you going into his house yesterday. And after a full day, you are finally coming back out of that house? And not just by yourself, but with Raymond while the two of you share laughs and smiles? What? You've been watching me in his house ever since yesterday afternoon? I knew it! You are just his stalker. I wasn't watching you in his house like that because I enjoyed it. Recently, I've noticed that Raymond has been acting pretty suspicious. And when I've been over at his place the past few weeks before he left, his room smelled like someone else's perfume. There have also been days where he wasn't responding to my texts at all. And that's why yesterday, when I had finally had enough of him ghosting me all the time, I went over to make sure he was actually on a business trip, and there you were. So, Madison, you've been the one going out with Raymond then? And so what? What are you trying to say about me, Sherry? Just because you're only finding out about this now doesn't change anything. Although you are finding out a lot sooner than we had both expected. What is up with that attitude towards me? Raymond is supposed to be my fiancé right now, right? Are you a freaking idiot? You're going out with your friend's fiancé right now. Huh? From what I've been told, he's no longer engaged to you anymore. He's planning on getting married to me now. So stop trying to play this as though you've been cheated on when there's no love between you guys anymore. Huh? He told me that he's thrown you away and will be marrying me when the time's right. So no matter how upset you get over this, it's not going to change the fact that he's mine now. Raymond has finally become my man now. What? Wait a second. You guys are planning to get married now? For a long time now, I've been trying to get him to fall for me, but recently he finally took the bait and came after me. For a little while, he wasn't even bothering to look at me, and hearing that he'd gotten engaged to you made me really sweat. But I was able to make one last play that ended perfectly for me. He finally came around to me and said that I'm the one. You've been going after him this whole time? What? Madison, have you always been in love with Raymond the whole time we've been friends? That's right. Ever since middle school with him, I've always been watching him, waiting for him to come to me. What? However, for some unknown reason, he never did come to me, instead going for some basic chick like you. Even making sure to let everyone know that he had gotten engaged to you last year. You really were so lucky to get a part-time job working at the same place as him. But it wasn't fair because I had been eyeing him up for years before you ever met him in college. He knew that I was into him, and even now he tells me that he felt my love. And since he's felt that love from me far longer than from you, it's natural for him to come back to me. What? So you've been going after one man, Raymond, ever since middle school? After middle school, I followed him to the same high school, and after high school to the same university. I made sure that I was never out of his sight this whole time. And when the time came that I finally knew I needed to go and ask him out, he fell for some chick at his part-time job. But that wasn't what upset me, because I thought for sure that your guys' relationship wouldn't last long. But here we are, years since then, and you guys became engaged. So that's why I had to take action and steal him from you before it was too late. What's so wrong with having to do that, Sherry? Wait a moment. So back then, when you started to work at the same place with Raymond and I, it wasn't just a coincidence? The day after I started to go out with him, you began to work part-time with us at that place. You already know that wasn't a coincidence. I had to know what kind of woman he had started to go out with, and that's why I began working there. But you didn't even take a second to realize that he was mine and just stood around smiling and talking all happily about your relationship with him. However, even though it hurt me so much to have to see you both being happy, I had to stay on him, and that's why I became your friend. Well, that was all just a sham, Sherry. I had just come from out of town to that local college in town, and while there, I didn't really have any good friends. And even with all the people I ran into every day at school, I just couldn't find anyone to call my friend. Just as I was beginning to feel real loneliness, I had found someone like Raymond and a person to call my friend. Well, me being all friendly to you was only a part of my plan at getting even closer to Raymond. I knew that by getting you to trust me, I'd be making my chance of getting him a whole lot better. It was all just so I could break you both apart and slide right in. That was your plan this whole time? And that was all just because you happened to be able to get to him before me, even though he's mine. But hey, I was just lucky that you were desperate for a friend, or else I might never have been able to get you to think I was a friend to you. To be honest, you are one stupid woman, and having to be around you a lot was really degrading. And I tried so hard to get Raymond to notice me the whole time I was faking being your friend, but for some reason it took more work to get him than I thought. Heck, I even started to make mistakes at work and blamed them on you to try and get Raymond to leave you, thinking you were useless. You're kidding, right? That whole time working there after you came, I remember our boss yelling at me all the time for things I never did. So that was all because of you then? That whole time you were just trying to get me in trouble and fired while faking being my friend? And as time went on, we all graduated from university and college, and unlike you, Raymond found a proper job. I really thought that would have been the moment he left you since you couldn't find yourself work, but just as I started to get ready, I heard he had become engaged to you. But that didn't last too long, because all I had to do was tell him my true feelings, and he came to me. If I knew it would have been that easy to get him, I should have just told him my feelings a long time ago. You are such a complete jerk. I can't even comprehend what's happened here because of you. I seriously thought this whole time that you were a real friend to me. However, you never thought of me as your actual friend. And not even that, but you've hated me this whole time? Well, you've also been trying to get Raymond away from me? The only jerk here is you, Sherry. You came out of nowhere and took my man away from me without ever considering my feelings. Do you get it now, though? It's over for you. Raymond is all mine now, and there's nothing you can do to get him back. So you stay the hell away from us now and never ruin my relationship again. I've heard about it all from Madison. The one you've been cheating on me with has been her. And she said that you left me for her and plan on getting married to her now too?
I heard about all of this as well from her. She told me that since yesterday, you've been standing around my house watching us? If you really felt that I was cheating on you, you should have just said so to my face. But instead, you became my stalker and made yourself look like a freak.
You have no right saying I'm the freak when you've been the one cheating on me. Are you not going to at least apologize for what you've done?
Why would I apologize for something I don't feel wrong about doing? I have finally been able to find the #1 girl in the world for me, and she's been in love with me a lot longer than you have. So what's wrong with me choosing her over you?
Huh?
It's so beautiful thinking that she's been in love with me ever since middle school. And what's even more beautiful is that her dad is actually my department manager. I had no choice but to go for her now that I have work relations at stake.
You're telling me that her dad is your boss?
He has the same last name as her, but I never thought that he'd actually turn out to be her dad. But if I'm able to get married to his daughter, I'm sure that will lead to me getting some major promotion within the company. There was no reason for me to stay with you now when I have a gift like her.
You're throwing me away for her, all because she's your better chance at getting promoted? That's your only reason for throwing away the person you've been together with for years and years now?
You're far too old now to still be working odd jobs like you have been. For a long time now, I've actually been resenting ever going out with you, back when we worked together, because you've turned out to be such an idiot. If it wasn't for me always being here to help you out, you would be nothing more than wasted meat. Heck, even before I finally jumped over to Madison, the only real way you were making any money was by coming over to my place to do my chores for me. Really, you've been more like a housekeeper than a fiancé.
A housekeeper? Is that how you've been thinking about me this whole time? So you never loved me for the woman I am, but rather just because I'm able to help you get chores done?
Men love women that are able to get cleaning and cooking done. You would even come over to help me do some of the nastiest jobs, all for a little bit of cash from me in return. But even though you did a good job for me, I've stumbled into an even more amazing and useful woman. Not only is she madly in love with me, but her dad would be my best shot at a promotion. She's perfect.
No, she is not.
Ah, that's right. I've made sure, just in case you want to come, to send you an invitation to our wedding. Make sure to take a good look at it and RSVP soon.
Why would you send something like that to me?
Don't make up anything in your head about this. I'm not sending the invitation to you because I want you there. I want you to stop stalking me now, so hopefully seeing me happy with Madison will make you stop trying.
Huh?
I feel that by saying the truth, that should be enough to even teach an idiot like you that I don't love you anymore. Seeing the evidence of me kissing her after putting on her wedding ring should stop any more thoughts about me from entering your head. Man, you should be so thankful that I'm putting this much thought into you still after having thrown you away. I'm a really nice guy, aren't I?
Hey, Sherry, why are you here showing up to our wedding? And are you completely brainless? Why did you show up wearing a wedding dress yourself? The only person that should be wearing a wedding dress today should be the bride, me. But you're not the only one that's a bride today. Because I myself am a bride today. Huh? Did all that shock of losing Raymond to me melt your brain away? I'm the one that's going to be marrying Raymond. And just because you're here in that perfect fitting wedding dress doesn't mean that he'll come back to you. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not here to try and get Raymond back. Then why are you here wearing a wedding dress? You were thrown away by Raymond months ago, and that makes you the loser. Huh? You think that I'm the loser after all of that? I do. You were the one that got thrown away by your fiancé and had to learn that your friend was never actually your friend. So after having lost the both of us, why are you coming back? You're not going to be able to get him back now because I'm the one that he's chosen to marry. I'm only here in a wedding dress because today is the day of my wedding. Huh? But my wedding starts later today, after yours. And the only reason I'm already in my wedding dress now is because I'm just getting back from a photo shoot this morning. But while we have a break in the photo shoot, I've come inside to go to the restroom. But I forgot where the restroom is, and that's how I stumbled upon this room. And just when I was going to turn around and leave, I saw that this is your guys' wedding. You're going to be having your wedding here later today? What are you going on about? You shouldn't have anyone to marry anymore, right? You lost Raymond to me only a few months ago. So what? Are you just having a wedding by yourself now and are getting photos of yourself taken outside? I understand that Raymond is all yours now. But that doesn't mean that after he left me, I couldn't find someone new to become my husband. And so that new man that I've found is going to be with me for our wedding day. Huh? You found yourself a new man? That's right. I'm getting married to my boss from work. Now, hold on. You're getting married to your own boss? In other words, you're getting married to that old man that was our manager back when we were all working part-time there? I get that after being tossed aside by someone as amazing as Raymond, you try to rebound off of someone else, but... But that's just gross, Sherry. Huh? Well, come on. That old man is in his 70s by now, and you're planning on being married to him? And what's even crazier is that that man was pissed off with you all the time there after what I did to set you up. He really wants to be married to you now? You both must really be that desperate. For him to give up the last bit of his life for someone like you must mean real desperation. You're still young, Sherry. You should rethink being with a gross old man like him and call things off before you tie the knot for good. I'm not getting married to my old manager from that place. I'm getting married to the CEO of the company I currently work for. The CEO of the company you currently work for. And I'm just going to let you know this right now so that you don't continue to stay confused. I am not working as a part-timer anymore. After graduating from college, I worked that part-time job a little bit longer after you guys left before being hired into my current job. And as of right now, I'm working a lot less hours to keep up with all the work I have to get done there. I'm at the point now within my career that the company and my husband trust me with all the projects. Huh? So you're not working a part-time job right now? You're actually a full-time employee now and are working for a decent company? And what's even funnier is that I often go to the company Raymond is working for to help out. But anytime I told him that, he just said for me to keep my dreams to myself. He for some reason believes that I'm freelancing and doing odd jobs. Well, how are you helping with the company he works for as well? And how have you managed to become close to your CEO? There's just no way you could be able to do all of that. You can believe whatever you want to, but this is all true. Now that was enough talking for now. How about we both just wish for both of our weddings to go well today?
Hey, it's all just one big lie, right? That you were going to be marrying the CEO of the company, right? And you do know that the CEO was actually the CEO of a company that's a huge customer of mine, right? So how the hell is he going to be getting married to you now?
If you really are finding it hard to believe me, you are more than welcome to come sit in on our wedding today. My husband has a lot of guests coming today, so there'll be a lot of seating and we don't plan on making it private. So even you can slide on in for a quick second later today to see with your own eyes who I'll be the bride to.
What?
At first I was really upset to have my wedding at the same place as you both. But it seemed that we needed a place that has a lot of room like this building, so there was no other choice for us in town besides here.
Hey, please, Sherry, can you please tell me that all of that is a lie? If I actually have to believe that you're going to be married to one of the company's biggest customers? And one other thing, it's only been 3 months since you and I fell apart. How are you able to get up from that so quickly and find a new man to be married to? There's no way that all of this is anything but a lie.
You are right to think that this was a pretty quick turnaround. But he explained to me that he wanted to get married even sooner than I did. It appears he's been in love with me for a very long time now and already knew I was the one for him. And so he didn't want to take any more chances waiting on me.
You're telling me that your CEO has been into you for a long time?
He apparently has known about me for a very long time now. In the past, he'd hide who he was from me and come around that old place we worked part-time at to see how I was doing and things like that. And so that's how he knows me from all the way back then and about the work I'd done.
Huh?
I don't want to say this considering it'll make me look like I'm tooting my own horn here, but he seems to have been in love with me ever since the first day he laid eyes on me. And ever since that day, it only took a few years for me to end up within his company. But when he was finally able to see me again and introduce himself to me on a more personal level, I was with you, and so he had to give up for a bit. But later on, after he heard about how you cheated on me and we broke up, he was waiting outside the office while I came into work and asked me out on a date.
You're freaking lying, right? The CEO of that company, he's been in love with you this whole time? And not only in love with someone for that long, but with some part-timer he shouldn't even be worried about? Why did this happen to you?
It is pretty wild to think that he's been in love with me ever since I was working part-time there. But now I can finally begin to understand the power love like that has, much like the love Madison has for you. After all, she's been in love with you ever since middle school, right? Luckily, she is way more useful than me, and that's why it was so easy for you to throw me away.
Well, that wasn't...
Well, now that we're both with people who have loved us forever, even before we knew them, let's treat them with the same love and live happy lives together. After all, they gave up a lot of their time staying committed to us. So let's give back to them by showing equal or greater love. Now, I need to get back to having more pictures taken before the wedding. You both have a wonderful wedding today. It's because of you that everything fell apart. I never asked for a marriage like this. Why the hell is this all happening to me now? It's all because of you that my life has been turned upside down. Huh? What's happened to you? You were finally able to get married to Raymond after all those years spent being in love with him with no reward. Shouldn't you be having the best marriage ever right now? How could this be the best marriage ever? Every time that he looks at my face now, he just lets out a big sigh and then walks away. And he tells me this every single night. He tells me that he should have stayed with you, and that way you both could have gotten married and his life would have been so much better. Are you serious? He talks about how amazing you must be for a CEO to be willing to love you. He says things like how you must be more than just a decently useful woman, and that there must be some magic to you. And then he always finishes by saying that even though I'm the daughter of his boss, he never sees any benefits to being married to me. My. He really has been saying some terrible things to you. I have been trying so hard to get all the chores done around the house for him. But even with all my hard work, he compares me to you, saying that you always made better food for him and made things around the house a lot neater. He said he didn't even have to ask you to iron his shirts because you'd have them done the moment he took them off. He even said that even though he had to pay you a little to do all of that, everything turned out a whole lot nicer for him. All he talks about is you and never says anything nice about me. Now that I've heard all of this, he seems to still have feelings for me then. You may have loved him longer than I did, but that really isn't going to keep his mind thinking of you. Well, I've had enough. And that's why today I went back to my parents' house crying to them. He literally threw you away from me. Yet now he's complaining that I'm not good enough like you were. This is all your fault for making his standards so high. I told my parents all of this, but instead of calming me down and telling me it was going to be okay, they started to get angry at me. They told me that I deserve all of this. Well, it seems to me like your parents are two very understanding people. What about them is so understanding? My dad won't even listen to me anymore and is super frustrated with me. He keeps asking me what I've done for Raymond that's better than you. And that me being the daughter of Raymond's boss doesn't automatically make me better in every way. Well, he makes a great point. Because unlike you, I'm in the same position as your dad now, working as a department manager while you're just a housewife. I'm not happy with any of this. I was supposed to end up with someone better than you could end up with, yet now you get to be the wife of a CEO, and it's heart-wrenching. The Raymond I'm with now is not the man I used to love. If I'd known he'd still be thinking about you, I would have never married him. Right. That makes sense. Life would be a lot better for you now if you hadn't married him. So, is there anything right now that has anything to do with me? Please don't tell me you came to me looking for some kind of care from me, right? Because as far as I'm aware, you're the one that stole him from me. I get that someone like Raymond is a pretty terrible man and that you're all upset with him now. But blaming me for something you did to yourself is not going to get you anywhere. And honestly, I don't care right now that you feel so badly. What? Why are you being so cold to me right now? Aren't we supposed to be friends? I was so close to you and everything, so how you're acting right now is so hurtful. What? Now you think that we're friends? Weird, considering a while back you told me you only faked being my friend in order to get Raymond from me. So you aren't crap to me, Madison. Which means after this, don't even bother trying to talk to me again. Huh? It's because of you that this is all happening to me. Yet you won't even listen to me and try to help fix this? Listen, you dog. Your dad had to tell you about who I am now, right? Yet you're still going to sit there crying like a little baby? Well, if that's how you want to play this, let me tell you something. I could go to my husband right now, telling him about how you won't leave me alone, and you know what? He'll make sure that both your dad and Raymond don't have jobs after today. My husband won't go easy on them either, making sure that they understand just how rude it is of them to let their wife and daughter blame me for something I never did. But please stop. If you do something like that to me, my dad will only become more angry. No, he won't just get angry, but he'll kick me out of the house. And then Raymond will only grow more frustrated with me and it will all be over. Then stop all of this BS and leave me the hell alone, okay? You need to stop messing around trying to hide from Raymond and learn that you are his wife now, and you have to deal with the life you asked for. Or maybe, since you had the nerve to break our relationship apart, you can go get a divorce from him and find another man. If you're really going to complain this much, you must have the energy to do something besides be a pain in my neck. A divorce? I can't. We were finally able to get married. Then learn to deal with him complaining about you not meeting his standards or work harder to meet them. You chose this path, so stop with all this BS. You've loved him ever since middle school, so you should have it in you to love him until the end. Right after that last message to Madison, I never heard anything else from her again. And according to the rumors, those two's relationship ended up turning cold to the point that neither of them would ever talk or even look at one another. But of course, one day Madison ended up blowing up on Raymond. She began to yell at Raymond to divorce her if he was going to regret marrying her so much, and that he wasn't the man that she used to love who was cool and loved to talk. And because of that, for the next 3 months, those two continuously fought one another on their marriage. And these days, whenever Raymond gets home from work, he's met with Madison wearing very middle schoolish type of clothes and talking to him as if they were back in middle school. Well, all I can say is that they've both started to go off the deep end, and I really don't know what else there is to say about where their relationship will go next.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow.
Mom, I just wanted to ask if for tomorrow's wedding, you'd go ahead and not show up for me. I've already had your seat taken away and everything, so...
Excuse me?
So, since you have no seat now, please don't come. I'll make sure to send you pictures of the wedding and everything later, all right?
Hold your horses, Summer. Why would you ask me to stay away from your wedding day out of nowhere like that? You know I can't do that on my daughter's most important day.
Huh? Why not? The bride is asking you not to come to her wedding, so you can shut up and do as the bride is telling you, all right?
Why are you saying things like that to me now? Why don't you want me coming to my own daughter's wedding?
Well, Mom, I'd really like to cut ties to you after this. So I can't just have you coming to my wedding if I don't even want you around me anymore, right? That would make no sense.
You want to cut ties to me? Hold on, Summer. Tell me what's gotten into you all of a sudden. Telling me not to come to your wedding and saying that you want to push me away by cutting ties? Did I do something wrong to you?
Look, Mom, do you have any idea who the man is I'll be marrying tomorrow? I'm going to be getting married to the son of a very distinguished family who runs a large company. So in other words, starting tomorrow, I'm going to become a part of some very famous people. And when that happens, I'm no longer going to need some moneyless woman like you as my mom.
Moneyless woman?
Why are you so surprised by all of this? You've always been living your life with a very little income, right? Once Dad had divorced you, our home became one of very little money and a whole lot of sadness. When was the last time you bought yourself some new clothing, Mom? Like 10 years ago?
I guess we have been a smaller family now ever since your father left us and luck has not been on our side, but I have put all my energy and money into raising you to make sure you were always happy. I wanted you to never have to feel the pain of being raised by only a mother and on the income of only myself. So I would spoil you with a lot of what I earned in the hopes that you'd never notice the void he left behind. But to see you forgetting my sacrifice now and calling me a moneyless woman, it hurts!
Huh? You think I'm forgetting anything about that? I never cared enough to memorize what you did for me, so how could I be forgetting it now? If anything, the only thing I've held on to is the hate I have for you.
Huh?
Because you had to go and get that divorce with Dad, you left my life in tatters. I had to start living the life of a poor little girl in a single-parent household. Do you have any idea how many horrible memories I have from being around you?
You know the reason why your father and I had to get a divorce, right? Your father was addicted to slot machines and would never stop gambling no matter how much I told him to stop and step away. So I started to think only about you. And that led me to getting that divorce from him. It's not good to have someone addicted to gambling raising a child as well.
If you really wanted to care about me and my well-being, then where's the money I need? I had to live for years under you with no money and with very little to entertain myself. Had you just stuck with Dad, at least then I would have had the money he won from playing slots all the time. I think being raised in a moneyless household is way worse for me than living with a gambling addict.
That's why in order to have money for you, I've put in a lot of work over the years. And it's been 15 years now since the divorce, so that's 15 years of me working for your sake. And not just working a job, but working as two parents to make sure you were raised into the person you are now. I made sure to never focus on myself, only looking at you and working towards the great future I wanted you to have. That allowed you to go and study what you wanted at the school you wanted to attend. I'm sure I never made you feel as though you were living in poverty, right?
Huh? That's strange, considering that every day I was in the same house as you, I felt like I was living in a poor man's home. I I wish I had the lives all my friends had, going overseas every year for vacation with their family. I wanted to be like them, going to Disney Park every year for a week.
Well, all of those friends happen to have parents working high up in large companies, right? Especially that one girl, whose dad is the CEO. Well, comparing the money I was bringing in to their parents. I had worked so hard for you, Summer, and I really made sure there was enough money for you, even without your father ever paying child support.
It's your job as my parent to work hard for me, so stop acting like you're someone special for something like that. Let's be real here, you should have never married someone like Dad and had a kid with him in the first place if you knew things would never turn out well for me. Being born into a moneyless family has really caused me so much trouble. I'm a victim of someone who never cared enough about her money or her situation, and I've had to pay for your flaws for the past 15 years.
What did you say?
Someone who's done all of that to me is not going to be coming to my wedding to celebrate my happiness. That's why you're not coming to my wedding anymore. I'm going to become a somebody for once, and I don't need some moneyless woman there celebrating that. A poor woman like you, with nothing to show for, shall never come around me ever again.
Are you sure about this?
Shut the hell up, you old hag. I think I'm very sure about all of this, considering I've told you to stay away so many times now.
Then I guess I have no other option. I gave it my all raising you, but I can't just force you to let me be a part of your future anymore. Please have a wonderful life with that Alex of yours.
Of course Alex and I are going to become happily married. I don't need to hear that from you, you idiot. Hey, Jody, what do you think you're doing as the mother of the bride? Hurry up and come to the wedding right now, please.
Huh? Renee?
I heard from your daughter that you're not coming today because you don't feel well enough. But there is just no way that someone like you would be feeling so bad that you can't make it to one of the most important days in your daughter's life. Even if you have a small fever, you can manage coming here still, right? You are her mother, so please be here to see her go from your little girl into Alex's wife. Both the bride's and groom's parents have put a lot of effort into this event, so you shouldn't miss it.
Could you hold on for one moment, please, Renee? What do you mean my daughter told you I wasn't feeling well enough today?
What do I mean? She said that you're feeling sick today. She said you became so anxious about her wedding that it ended up getting you sick. That's why Summer had to tell the wedding planner you wouldn't be coming today.
I'm not feeling sick or anything, though, today. The reason I'm not there right now is because Summer told me to stay away.
What?
For some reason or another, she seems to really hate me now. Apparently, she has no use for a single-parent mother anymore. She told me that she's going to be part of a more higher-class people now, so she has to cut ties to me. And that means I can't come to her wedding anymore.
You're lying, right? Summer said all of that to you?
I do have a lot to say about it, but since this is her wedding, I can't go against what she said. If the bride is telling me to stay away, then I'm going to stay away. So, with that, I'd like for you and your husband to please celebrate a little extra in my absence. And please take good care of my daughter for me.
Why are you so calm when saying all of that to me? You're just going to let Summer get away with saying all those terrible things to you? If my son had ever said something like that to me, I would have been spanking his butt for 5 days straight.
You really are such a powerful mother, aren't you, Renee? Which is amazing considering when you and I first met, you were so calm and kind.
And I've been the one watching you raise Summer all by yourself for the past 15 years. Hearing from you what she said, it really breaks my heart. I'm sorry, Jody, but I cannot let her say things like that to someone who has sacrificed so much.
I see. I totally forgot you've been by my side ever since that divorce from my ex-husband. Time has really gone by fast, hasn't it?
That's how it feels to all of us. But listen to me, Jody, I am so upset with what I've heard. You are one of my most dear friends, and you're telling me the daughter you raised with so much love is now stabbing you in the back? I want you to hang tight for me, okay? I'm going to do something about this right now.
You don't have to do anything, Renee. I'm totally fine right now, so there's no need to worry.
But I'm not fine at all, Jody. I thought that because she's your daughter, she'd be just perfect for my son. But now I'm being told that she's the exact opposite of her mother. I have to go and do something about this. Mom, you can come to my wedding right now. I am finally all right with you being here now, so you'd better hurry up so we can get on with things.
What? Why are you talking to me again now? I thought you told me yesterday that you were cutting ties to me.
Well, there was some trouble with that, so I have to ask you to come out here now. Right now, Alex's mom is getting all up in my face complaining about things, so having you here will be the only way that'll shut her up. She keeps going on and on about how my mom isn't here and how that's really messed up of me.
I see.
I tried to tell everyone that you're not here because you're feeling sick, but she's not buying it any. So it really does hurt me to say this, but you're allowed to come now. But I'm only doing this so that my wedding isn't canceled and I can have a happy marriage with Alex, so hurry up and get over here.
I understand the situation you're in now, but I'm a bit unsettled.
Huh? Why are you unsettled? You should be over the moon with happiness now that your daughter is letting you come to her wedding. So stop what you're doing and get over here.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that now. Right now I'm out having something to eat. I have this really delicious parfait coming to my table right now, so I'm going to have to stay and eat it.
Huh? Who cares about a stupid parfait? You should be far more interested in your daughter's wedding. If you do come over here right now, I'll even play nice and forget about ever wanting to cut ties to you. So you should really want to come now, right?
Huh? You want to stop this whole cutting ties to me thing?
If having you around me is the only way to ensure I have a great wedding with the son of a very wealthy family, then I have no other choice.
What should I do here? If I had the time, I'd really like to be there to see your wedding, but this parfait looks so good.
Why are you getting stuck between a stinking parfait and your daughter's wedding? You should only be worried about your daughter's wedding, right? I'm telling you that even without any money, I'll let you come and celebrate my wedding with everyone else.
What was that?
This should be one of the biggest surprises of your life, hearing that you will finally be allowed to come to my wedding. So hurry up and get over to my wedding before I start to have a change of heart again. Does she look like some kind of toy to you? She is your mother of all people, and you're going to act and play with her like that? I have had enough of you, Summer. I'm not going to ever think of you as my daughter ever again. What? And I'm sure Jody is feeling the same way about you right now. So don't you even bother with either one of us now, because you will never be either one of our children. I'm asking you to please leave us alone, especially your mother. Wait a second. What? This isn't you, Mom? Who even is it that I'm talking with right now? This is Alex's mother, and who you might call your mother-in-law. But you guys aren't going to be having this wedding anymore, and I'm not going to let the two of you be married. So you can say goodbye to ever calling me your mother. What? Why are you using my mom's phone right now, Renee? That's because I left the wedding to come and see her. She had already told me she wasn't coming to the wedding, and you had lied to me, saying this was all about how your mother was sick or something. Well, I don't have the want to celebrate your happiness anymore after learning the truth, so I left to meet up with my friend, your mother. What? I found her sitting here at the local cafe she's always at, eating this really amazing-looking parfait all by herself. So I've joined her now and ordered one myself. Oh, it feels so wonderful to be in the presence of a good friend like her. And the nostalgia. Her and I always used to come to this place. What? What do you mean you used to always go there? Are you and my mom really that well acquainted with one another? That's right. Her and I have been friends for over 15 years now, I think. 15 years? I started to learn about her at this gathering for moms. It was a place for mothers struggling with raising their kids, dealing with their husband, and many other things to get together and talk. And that's where I had first met her, and that's why right now her and I are best friends. What? At that point in time, when first meeting her, I was so burnt out by the stress of raising a child. Being married to a man who runs such a powerful company meant that I had to really raise my son into the perfect little prodigy to one day take over that company from his father. And the pressure from both my mother-in-law and the rest of his family was huge. And hearing about all the other moms who were raising their little prodigies, it just drove me up the wall. So I chose to one day go to a gathering for average moms, and there I ran into your mother. Hearing the stories from her made me feel like I was doing a great job myself as a mother and didn't need to worry about all the pressure on my shoulders. She even began to help lift me up, complimenting the ways I raised my boy and by giving me pointers. You're lying. You've known my mom for that long now? She was at those gatherings because she had just become a single mother and was looking for help herself. So in order to help one another out, we would both always meet up, even outside those gatherings, and even come to this exact cafe to chat about our lives and laugh a little. It was our way of finding that little bit of time in our lives as mothers to relax and be ourselves. What? So you guys have really been that close to one another? But as our kids began to get older and older, we became more separated due to time constraints. To think that one day we'd come back to one another because our kids wanted to get married? What a coincidence, right? I was so happy to see one of my best friend's daughters come to my house with my son to introduce herself. And I was really excited for today's wedding as well, Summer. But all of that excitement is lost now because of you ruining it all. If I'm not going to have any fun celebrating this wedding for you, then there's no point in having it at all. No way. I've already talked with both my husband and Alex, and I told them to cancel the wedding right now. I am not going to let there be a wedding between my son and someone I can no longer trust being my daughter-in-law. Now, that is going to be it from me. My parfait just got to the table, and I'd like to eat this with my friend. Hey, Mom, what the hell was that yesterday? Why did you never tell me that you were such good friends with Alex's mom?
I wasn't hiding that from you as some sort of secret or anything. We both decided to just keep it to ourselves, and so that's how things played out.
Huh? I have no idea what you mean by that. It wasn't a secret, yet you kept that fact from me? Why would the both of you choose to hide that from me anyway?
That's because the both of us really care about our family.
Huh?
We both met somewhere where we had to talk about all the drama and pain we were going through as mothers, right? Had we said that the both of us knew each other and we were friends, we'd most likely have to talk about those gatherings as well. I'm sure that you and Alex and his dad don't want to hear about any of that stuff right from your mothers. So we chose to just keep quiet about how we've known one another for so long.
But come on, Mom! You hiding that from me ruined my wedding. Had I known that you were good friends with Alex's mom, then I would have...
Had you known about all that, then you would have never told me that I'm a moneyless woman and never wanted to cut ties with me. You wouldn't have said any of that, but you would have still hated me deep down just the same. You would have just kept hiding that fact from me for the rest of your life. All right. I'm sure my reasoning wasn't that great, so I'm sorry for hiding the truth from you. But I'm not going to hide anything else from you, so you can relax now. Now you have a good one, Summer.
Wait, Mom! Actually, I don't want to cut ties to you anymore.
Just because I happen to know Alex's mother doesn't mean you have to force yourself to call me your mother. I'm totally fine not having you around me anymore, so let's keep this whole cutting ties to one another thing going.
I'm not forcing myself or anything. If anything, I just don't like the idea of leaving you forever, so let's give all of that up. Starting today, you and I are mom and daughter again. So, can you please go and tell this to Renee for me?
What is all this about? I don't understand what's going on here currently.
Right now, they are talking about ending the talks about marriage, and I am really scared. So I'd really like your help in fixing all this. I want you to do something to get your friend to accept my marriage to her son again. Right now, she's so furious with me that I can't even have a conversation with her.
Whew, oh no. Renee is at that level of being upset with you then.
She's at that point where the next time I try and talk to her, she might now hold back. She always tells me that she won't let me be her daughter if I can't even understand the struggle of my own mother. And that she can't let me marry Alex if I'm never going to be thankful for the 15 years of hard work you put in for me. She just keeps going on and on about how she doesn't want me in her family anymore.
Oh my.
Renee had always been so kind to me before. I thought she'd be the perfect mother-in-law for me because I'd be spoiled. But now I can see just how pissed off even she can become.
Wow. Renee has really changed from the person she was years ago. In the past, when we had first met, she was a very quiet woman who wouldn't dare talk about her own opinions. So for the longest time, I was always telling her to always tell others how you feel, no matter how nervous you are. But to see her going all out like that with you, ooh, it warms my heart.
What am I going to do here, Mom? She isn't listening to anything I'm saying to her. She just tells me that she doesn't want to see my face anymore and sends me home while pouring water all over me. Right now I'm on my way home drenched in water.
Wow, that's amazing of her.
And when it comes to Alex, he's so shocked by what he's witnessed from me. I wanted to explain to him about how you really are poor, and so I did just that. But he replied to me saying that if we really were as poor as I've said, then I would never have been acting this way towards you. He told me that if I really can't tell the difference from being poor or being spoiled, then he doesn't want to live with me. He told me that he doesn't want to be stuck with someone that thinks they can be treated to everything, not because they were poor and without money, but because they were spoiled.
This really is such an awful time for the both of you then, huh? But I suppose he is right to say that I have spoiled you and that you are nothing more than a whining little brat.
So please, Mom, help me. You're the only person that can do something to fix all of this. You can go to them and get them both to agree to letting me into their family again.
What? You think I want to deal with all that?
If you don't do anything about this, I am seriously going to lose my only chance at becoming rich. Are you trying to tell me you're fine with your daughter's happiness being destroyed? You should be saddened by something like this as my mom. If you really love me as your baby girl, then you'll do something to fix all of this.
Well, I'm not really thinking of you as my daughter anymore.
What?
So you can go ahead and cry all you want, but your problems have nothing to do with me. If you want them both to let you into their family, then you have to find a way to rebuild the trust you had with them before. You have already cut ties with me, and I have done the same with you. So please stop asking me for help.
Wait, you're kidding, right? You're just going to throw me away now?
The one who did that first was you to me, right? So would you please cut it out with that I'm the victim BS?
But I told you that I'm not cutting ties to you anymore. Please, Mom, don't say such hurtful things to me.
Jeez. I am not your mother anymore. So please stop calling me things like Mom.
Huh?
I told you already, right? I no longer view you as my daughter. So would you please stop thinking of me as your mother now?
But, Mom!
Nope.
Well, then what am I going to do from now on? The chance is very high that I won't be able to marry Alex anymore, and now you're telling me you're no longer my mom? I'm going to be left all by myself after all this?
It's all right, Summer. You still have your father, right? Although he's still addicted to gambling and I think in prison right now. But you still have some family left.
What?
So have a great life there, Summer. If you do ever have a chance to get married, good luck having kids. You want to go on vacations overseas every year and to Disneyland as well? Make sure to give them the most rich lives you always wanted from me. That marriage between Summer and her fiancé Alex ended up not ever happening in the end, as Alex left her very soon after the canceled wedding. It seems that Summer wasn't able to do anything about Renee being so against her, and Alex being so shocked by that. It turns out that I wasn't the only person that Summer began to brag to about becoming an affluent woman, but she did the same to her friends. Telling them all that she no longer had any need for her moneyless friends and would be saying goodbye to them all. But in the end, she is now stuck living life with nobody around to help her and having to manage on her own. Just before the wedding, Summer had also quit her job, and so as of right now, she is working a low-paying job trying to figure out what to do with herself. When it comes to myself, this whole relationship between Summer and Renee's son has led me back to meeting with my longtime friend again. So we happened to go out to that cafe a lot more together again and talk about how excited we are to have our kids out of the house now. And because of that, we started working on plans to take a vacation to the Bahamas or something to help ourselves unwind a little.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.